Okay, so we're all familiar with this story. You've just gotten approved for one, maybe two credit cards, and you're just enjoying your new cards, minding your own business, when all of a sudden, bam, the Chase Inc. 90K bonus offer appears, and you're like, man, I do not want to miss out. Well, this was the exact situation I was in, as I had just gotten approved for both the US Bank Altitude Reserve card and the Bilt MasterCard. And since I applied for these cards while I was at 424, this would mean that now I'm at 624, so I wouldn't be able to get approved for this card, right? Well, not exactly, and I'm pretty sure I could get away with it in my specific situation. So I decided to risk it for the biscuit, as Uncle Luke would say, and apply for this card because I didn't want to pass up on this 90K bonus offer since I wasn't in the position to get it earlier this year. But this wasn't the only issue. This was not my first Chase Inc. cash card, and I was unsure if I'd be able to qualify for the sign-up bonus because of this. Now, of course, this 90K bonus offer is pretty simple to understand if you're under 524, and this was your first Chase Inc. cash card. But for those of you just getting this 90K bonus offer for the first time, trust me, in about 2 years, you'll probably be in the exact same situation that I'm in right now. So what do you do? So in this video, we're going to discuss two situations that pertain to the Chase Inc. cards and their sign-up bonuses using the Chase Inc. cash card as a real-life example. Number one, how I calculated my Chase 524 status and got approved for this card while technically over Chase 524. And number two, what are the specific issues that come up regarding the sign-up bonus when you have one or more Chase Inc. cash cards already? Okay, so let's first start out by figuring out my Chase 524 status. Remember that Chase 524 is a rule that states that if you've been approved for 5 or more personal credit cards from any issuer in the last 24 months, you will automatically be denied for any personal or business Chase credit cards. About a week before this application, I had just been approved for both the US Bank Altitude Reserve card and the Bilt MasterCard. I had been gardening my personal credit report for these applications so I could have the highest chances of success when I applied for them, which included lowering my number of recent accounts. So before being approved for both cards, my Chase 524 status was 424. But after being approved, my Chase 524 status jumped up to 624. But here's what's important about this situation. Because I had just been approved for these two credit cards only about a week ago, they hadn't yet reported to my credit report as new accounts. And because the Altitude Reserve card was from US Bank and the Bilt MasterCard was from Wells Fargo, Chase wouldn't have any knowledge of either of these cards existing. And for me, Chase Bank reliably pulls my Experian credit report for my credit card application. So the only noticeable recent change would have been a new single hard pull from US Bank about a week ago, since they also pull from Experian. But since Wells Fargo pulled TransUnion for the Bilt MasterCard, this hard pull wouldn't affect my Chase application at all. So even though I was technically at 624, from Chase's perspective, I'm actually at 424 because those accounts had not reported yet to my credit report. Now, of course, once both of those credit cards do report to Experian, I would definitely be at 624. And for me, I wouldn't be back under 524 until April of 2024, which made it even more important for me to apply for these cards now before those new accounts reported. So this is how I interpreted my Chase 524 status. Even though I'm technically over Chase 524, because the other two cards had not yet reported to the credit bureaus, I had a limited time frame before they did to apply for the Chase Inc. cash card while I still appeared to be at 424. And with that in mind, here are my pre-application stats for the Chase Inc. cash card right before submitting my application. I had a previous Chase Inc. cash card that I opened in January of 2021 and received the bonus around March of 2021. And keep this in mind because this will become important in a little bit. My Experian credit score was 809, which was a 3-point drop from my previous credit score of 812 after that US Bank hard pull hit my credit report. I also had 2 other hard pulls on Experian that were both over 12 months old, so 3 total hard pulls all taken together. And my recent new accounts showed 0 in the last 6 months, 0 in the last 12 months, and 4 in the last 24 months, as we discussed earlier. Okay, so let's now watch me apply for this card, and I want you to keep a close eye on the application itself. Remember that I already have a previous Chase Inc. cash card, and I'm going to leave a visual cue on the application itself to highlight something that's pretty important and worth discussing when it comes to the sign-up bonus on this card. Okay, so here we go. All right, so here we are at the landing page for the Chase Inc. cash card, showing that their best offer has returned after spending $6,000 on purchases in the first 3 months after account opening. So let's go ahead and click apply now. Okay, so here we are on the main application page, and let's make sure that we have the right card, which we do, so let's continue. As with most credit card applications, they first ask for your basic demographic information, so we'll go ahead and fill that out now and keep going. They also ask for specific information about your business, including your legal business structure, business name, if you have a DBA, as well as your EIN. There's also this section here where they ask for your business category, business type, business subtype, and your NAICS code. Next up, they ask if you would like to add any employee cards, which is defaulted to no, and if you'd like to go paperless, which is defaulted to yes. And you can also see the pricing and terms in the bottom window here. And since these are the options that I want, let's go ahead and continue. We can also see some final certifications on this screen as well. Okay, so here we are at the bottom of the application where I've checked the box, I've read and agreed to the above. And so now that we're all done, let's go ahead and submit this application in 3, 2, 1, and submit. All right, so it looks like I was approved for the card with a credit limit of $9,500, so that's awesome, and I've just secured my second Chase Inc. cash card. Okay, so did you catch it? When going through this application, it's very easy to miss the bottom section of the application where there's a list of certifications that you must agree to before submitting your application. And the one I want to focus on specifically is point number 10. This point reads, the new card member bonus offer is only available if I do not have this card and have not received a new card member bonus for this card in the past 24 months. And so let's now go back to my situation to see why this is important. Again, I got my first Chase Inc. cash card in January 2021 and completed the sign-up bonus in March of 2021. So you can see that I definitely meet that second requirement because it's been more than 24 months since the last time I received this sign-up bonus. But what can be a little confusing is the first part of that statement, which says that, quote, the bonus offer is only available if you do not have this card. So what does that mean specifically? To be completely transparent, when I went through this application the first time around, I completely glossed over this entire point. It was only when I was going back and editing this video where I realized, oh shoot, I already have a Chase Inc. cash card. Does that mean I screwed up this $90K bonus offer? Clearly, I was not happy about this, but I couldn't confirm what was going on until I received the card itself. And at that time, the card was still in the mail. But once I received it, I activated the card and then added it to my Chase online account, and thankfully was able to see this screen here that showed the sign-up bonus counter activated on my card with the right sign-up bonus. You can see here that it says spend $6,000 in 3 months to earn 90,000 bonus rewards. So that confirmed that, yes, I did actually qualify for the sign-up bonus. And so that was a huge relief. Okay, so that's great. I've confirmed that the sign-up bonus is active on my card. But now the question becomes, what did they mean when they said that, quote, the bonus is only available if I do not have this card? Because clearly I have this card. And the answer is because of the way they define the word I. I've only applied for the Chase Inc. cash card once before, and when I did, I applied through my real estate LLC, which has its own EIN. But for this second Chase Inc. cash card, I also applied as an LLC, but this time around I applied through my YouTube LLC, which also has its own EIN. Now, of course, I had to provide my social security number, and this ties both applications to me as a personal guarantor. So I think when Chase Bank says I, it's actually referring to you as a business entity and not you as an individual. In my specific situation, I had a Chase Inc. cash card with my real estate LLC, and then I got approved for a Chase Inc. cash card with my YouTube LLC. And that second Chase Inc. cash card qualified for the sign-up bonus, even though I had a previous Chase Inc. cash card as an individual. But because I used two separate LLCs, each with their own EIN, this second Chase Inc. card application is classified as the first Chase Inc. cash card for that specific EIN. We can extrapolate this theory to cover sole proprietors as well. If I had applied for this card as a sole proprietor using my social security number only, I would have likely also qualified for this bonus. But what's interesting is that as a sole proprietor, you can also apply for an EIN through the IRS, and so I think it's theoretically possible to apply for this card as a sole proprietor multiple times and still qualify for this sign-up bonus. As long as you use different EINs, even if you have previous Chase Inc. cash cards, you should be able to get approved and qualify for the bonus, of course, as long as you personally are under Chase 524 and you have an acceptable personal credit profile. Now, I want to be clear that I'm not recommending that you get multiple EINs to get multiple sign-up bonuses with this card. But if you happen to have multiple businesses with different EINs, you can have an existing Chasing Cash card and get the bonus on a new Chasing Cash card provided you use a different EIN with that new application. And like I said before, this is just me extrapolating because I haven't personally done this, but as you can see, I got the bonus on the second Chasing Cash card when applying with a unique EIN, even though I personally had a previous Chasing Cash card from over 2 years ago from a different business. And going a bit deeper, it may also be possible to get a second Chasing bonus within a 24-month period if you already have the same Chase Inc. card, as long as you use a different EIN on that second application, but I can't confirm this myself since I haven't really done it. Okay, so now that we've covered my specific application for the Chase Inc. Cash card, let's go over how you can use this information to help with your next Chase Inc. business card application. The first thing you want to do is evaluate your own Chase 524 status. The main point with this is understanding that you need to be at 424 or lower, meaning that you have 4 or few credit cards that appear on your personal credit report in the last 24 months. And one question I get a lot is, do authorized users count when it comes to Chase 524? My view on this is that no, it doesn't count for 524, but if you apply with authorized user accounts that were added within the last 24 months, you may be automatically denied for a Chase card if you apply online. But if you call the reconsideration line and explain to them which accounts are authorized users, there's been many data points that have shown that Recon can overturn that denial and turn it into an approval when they manually review which accounts are authorized users versus the ones that are not. And if you've just applied for a credit card, remember that this card will not show up on your credit report until about 1 to 2 months later. So during that time, you do not have to count this new card as part of your 524 status. So keep this in mind, especially if you're right at that 424 level like I was in my situation. And so if you determine that you're under Chase 524, the next step is to determine if you already have the same Inc. card that you're applying for. And we'll use the Chasing Cash card to illustrate this. If this is your first Chasing Cash card, you don't need to worry about this step. But if you already have a Chasing Cash card, you have a couple of choices. You could either, 1, apply for the Chasing Cash card again under a different EIN, or 2, cancel your first Chasing Cash card and then reapply under the same SSN or EIN that the first card was under, as long as it's been longer than 24 months since you last received the first sign-up bonus. So as long as you follow these steps, you can continue to apply for these elevated sign-up bonus offers on the Chasing Cash cards, getting you massive value. So I hope that this was helpful in developing your strategy for your next Chase Inc. business card application. I'm a really big fan of having a strategic and thoughtful approach when it comes to applying for these sign-up bonuses, because as you can see, there's a lot of nuance to these applications that can be easily missed. And to see how a strategic and thoughtful approach can help turn a credit card denial into an approval, check out this video next.